Welcome back, everybody. We're now going to be live with, what am I talking about? LGD versus Liquid as our next match of today. I've got our teams right, finally. Predictions, what are we thinking? How are things going to go down? Who's going to win? What's the dealio?
For me, it's LGD. No questions asked. They've been playing a lot better than Team Liquid. No discredit or anything, but they just don't look like a team that could really hang. But let's quickly jump into the LGD. Sylar, the captain, or not the captain, but he's going to be playing the one row here. Really known as a great replacement for ZSMJ.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, TI2 last year just did a ton of work. Xiao 8, Director 8. Kind of a wide hero pool here. He's been playing Kunga yesterday, was absolutely beautiful. Seen a lot of Torrents. And let's see if he's going to be playing that today. Next up, we're going to have Yao, who is going to be playing the 3-row. I want myself some Yao Invoker.
Well, I love myself some Yao fun facts. We got a fun fact from LGD's Yao saying, one time, a bit of a story, he went to the gym with Pycat, and because of how good-looking and handsome they were, the receptionist actually gave them a key to the girls' locker room. This is their words, not ours. This is actually a legit true fun fact from them.
Okay. But whether it's actually true is another story. All right, DDC is going to be next playing the 4-row, who yesterday got to play some Earthshaker. And I'm hoping for some sort of like Earthshaker Visage, Twin Head Dragon Tri-Lane. But we'll see. And last but not least, we're going to have the last member. That's going to be DD, recent addition, but they're part of the old TI2 core. And they're probably going to do very well here today.
Yeah, I definitely agree. LGD as a team have been playing some amazing Dota. I feel like more than any other team at this event, maybe I'd say they're similar to Alliance in how they prepared. They've been so meticulous with coming up with new drafts, coming up with new strategies, a new style of play. The Kunkka, the Spectre, they're picking these heroes really early on. IG even first banned Kunkka against LGD, and I think that's because they've been scrimming together. They know LGD likes this hero. They're struggling to deal with it. LGD got to get Kunkka in one of their games. Beat DK with it. Another game, they picked Spectre in the first 3, beat IG with it. So LGD have these strategies, and these strategies are working so damn well. We can see here, their hexagons have gone up in power.
Yep, they have. We've been updating them daily, and hopefully we'll keep doing that as well.
Yeah.
But let's quickly introduce the Team USA / Canadian boys.
These guys, unfortunately, currently seeing 0-2 in the group. They need to start getting some wins under their belt. We'll see if their carry player, TC, can help them out there. He's known for his Lone Druid, Life Stealer, Gyrocopter. Basically his bread and butter carry heroes, especially in the current metagame. We've got Korok, the snowballing solo mid-type player, Queen of Pain, Storm Spirit, Puck. Do you think we maybe look to go back to something like a Storm Spirit here in this game?
I feel like his laning stage early on is a little bit weaker than some of the other solo mids in this particular tournament. And going up against Xiao 8, depending on the hero, I'm not sure whether you could get away with the Storm Spirit, but we'll have to wait and see.
If you're going for something like against a Kunkka or something, I imagine you can find a matchup that works. You do some bottle crowing. I think this is maybe where we see LGD go a different style of play.
Sure.
We've got Bulba next. He's Clockwork has really sort of been his hero for the last couple of months.
Yeah, it has, and I imagine it'll get banned out, but we'll see whether LGD China have done their homework. Meanwhile, we're going to see Fluff and stuff playing the 4-0. He could be the Visage player here
We
today.
saw one Enchantress yesterday. Didn't work out too well. It was an offensive jungle. He managed to sort of get off to an okay early start.
He was winning both lanes. Remember, like it was a tornado in front, and then he was winning bot.
Got an early kill with a clap as well.
Yeah,
You had the Ursa Centaur come out at the same time. IX Mike, your hard support player. We'll see where he ends up on, but normally your Shadow Demon, your basic hard support type heroes, even Jakiro they sometimes favor. So that breaks down Team Liquid. Slightly inexperienced team, I would say, at least with their current roster, and especially compared to these Chinese teams who've been around for so long, have had so much big LAN experience. That's really the great thing about for the Chinese teams. It's great for them. All these tournaments, they're played on LAN. Even you look at tournaments like G1, well, not G1 League, but G League, the DSL, all these other big Chinese tournaments, they're played from the studio, which is essentially a LAN environment. You have a small live audience, you get that experience. For Liquid, all of their match experience is pretty much online.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how true this is, but for one team, you have the Chinese who's like another day of work. For another, it's sightseeing, it's excitement, it's the lights, it's the fangirls or fangirl.
Well, and you even mentioned yourself, Fluff's sort of his post about going to G1 League. It's more for them, they're just there for the... I don't know. It wasn't
to paraphrase,
yeah.
we have nothing to lose. We're coming in with everything to gain, which... I love Fluff and stuff. He's a good real-life friend, but for me, I don't think that's a mindset of a champion.
I think every other team there would say they've got a lot to lose. They've got this tournament to lose. Every other team there, I feel, has the mentality that they are one of the favorites. Alliance, they're like, we're the best team in the West, which Liquid would agree with. They're not going to contest that with their current state, and they want to prove to the West that they can compete with the Chinese. Then you've got the 3 big Chinese teams, DK, LG, IG. All of these, there's a lot of pride at stake. This is a big tournament for them. This is lead up to the International 3. So for all of them, for Orange, they I would say they have a lot to prove. They're similar to Alliance, except they represent Southeast Asia.
Yep.
They want to do their best there.
Here's the thing, though. It's a best-of-1 series. Is there any pocket strat coming out Team Liquid? We know they haven't been scrimming a lot lately because they're doing worry about visa and things of
Now's the
nature.
time to do it if they have
Yeah,
a
this is against LGD China. Let's say, for example, by the end of this match, it's a 1-0 victory for Team Liquid. Does it start making people doubt LGD a little bit? Does Team Liquid have a shot to kind of get themselves back up to a 3-2 record and maybe make a deep run?
Yeah, well, I think that's where we see things get really messy as far as the group standings go. We'll actually take another look. We just had the group standings on the screen here. Things right now are pretty ordered. You've got your top and bottom heavy. You've got 3 teams 0-2, but if teams like Liquid start winning matches, and DK and IG, especially teams you expect start winning matches,
Quite possible, yeah.
we start looking at a lot of ties, a lot of mess. We don't actually know what the rule is if we get some ties. We'll try to get some word from admins about that, how things work, because it's quite important where you finish if you're in the top 4, what that ordering is for you, for how you're going to do in the playoffs. But right now, Liquid just got to get a win. That's all it comes down to.
One game at a time.
Yeah, one game at a time. So yeah, you predict LGD, obviously. They're the favorites going into this. Do you give Liquid, though, much of a chance? Or
I do. Again, because of it's a best-of-1 series, perhaps because LGD not really doing too much research. Team Liquid is actually known to pick up some of these crazier heroes. There's a return of a Fluff and Stuff support Mirana. That's possible. His Visage, very good. Puck coming out from Korok, very snowball. There's also a Tinker from Boba. These are some of the heroes that we don't see too often. And let's say if Chinese are trying to prepare against Team Liquid, they check out 5 replays, you're not going to see those heroes in the 5 replays. And Team Liquid could do a surprising thing. And when you're down 2-0 in a tournament, or 0-2 in a tournament, this is time to do something crazy.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely, I agree. Thanks for your thoughts. We're going to actually get our casters involved. LD and Blitz are going to be once again over on the casting desk. Guys, what are your thoughts here? Are there any heroes that we need to look out for as far as what to expect from Liquid, from LGD?
For Liquid, I feel like the key to their success has been, above all else, TC. Because leading up to this tournament, I had actually not watched a game or cast a game for TC where I looked at it and said, he didn't really play that well that game. Every game, TC's at least played decently. He's normally the most stable presence on Liquid. I felt like something was off with him yesterday.
Yeah, he's usually their rock, you know.
Exactly.
He's a strong player. He does a really
Korok,
good job.
Bulba, there's kind of the high-risk, high-reward players,
Exactly.
but TC's the stable, reliable one.
He's always the person that you can look back and say, okay, we can fall back on this kind of guy. But, you know, putting out slightly subpar performance, I look for him to really bring it back. If he can play well, then they really stand a decent chance against LGD. I don't think Team Liquid is as bad as their performances yesterday would lead to indicate.
Yeah.
So I think that if Team Liquid can just kind of get their nerves together and say, okay, look, we're down 0-2, but if we win our next few games, then this is something that we can come back into. But, you know, it is LGD, a team that looked, I mean, what, they've been like 106 or something in their 2 games?
I know the first game was 43-3. Second game was something like 31-4. I mean, you just look
so
at
I'm not even that far off.
Yeah, they're like 75-7 in their first 2 games. Obviously, you start to win a game that heavily, it's going to be easy to rack up kills. And their opponents, IG and DK, maybe fought a bit longer than what was realistically going to allow them a comeback, but they're playing really well. I think Liquid could match up well against them because they often do kind of, we'll see them go for something. I would love to see, like, say, a Bulba Prophet, something that gives them a little more split push, because we saw when Dreams played against LGD, that's where they struggled a bit more. And truth be told, AUI even said it yesterday, anybody can get anti-mage. So maybe we see TC go back for, if not an anti-mage, then a carry that can kind of can split push better in the late game. I feel like that's the type of style that'll give LGD the most trouble.
Yeah, I think what Liquid should do here is avoid fights. As weird as that sounds, I think LGD is a team that thrives on those little mini skirmishes that turn out to full-on fights.
Yeah.
And then they press their advantage, and then it goes from losing one hero to another to another. I mean, we saw it reflected in their lineup yesterday. They picked a hero like Kunkka, who's really good with the low CD boat, and the X forces the fight.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, you torn in, and then they picked such a low cooldown spell team with the Visage, the Earthshaker, the Leshrac, that they were able to just force fight after fight after fight.
And they want it. They want to keep on fighting. I mean,
exactly.
Even things like getting a Nyx Assassin to go solo mid, that's a spammable stun. LGD, they used to be much more kind of about like your big AoE ultimates. We'd often see Yao take the Magnus. Even a Bat Rider would be a common pickup for them. Obviously, these heroes are often banned, so that's one of the reasons we're not seeing them. But I feel the other reason is LGD is just getting more comfortable and confident with their ability to execute in the fights.
Yeah, and I think the games were a lot snowbally, but at the same time, LGD, it's reflected in the fact that the games are, what, 30, 40 minutes long, and they're getting that many kills?
Yeah.
It's just the playstyle now, the shift, where we're going to keep fighting you over and over again. For them, they don't actually rely on the big ultimates. I mean, the boat half the time didn't even hit. but it was just the fact that he could throw it off. They're going to get all their spells off, and every time.
You still get your Coco roam.
Exactly, and that's the big thing for them. That's why Kunkka works so well for them. You pick a team that can constantly fight,
Right.
and then they'll just outlast you. And then you have so many disables, and then from there on, it snowballs.
So looking at Liquid more specifically, obviously one of the keys to their success has been, I mentioned TC. I feel like he's had the most success on Lifestealer, but I don't see them getting that hero this game because the Chinese normally either first pick it or ban it. So if he's not getting Lifestealer, what are some of the other heroes that TC could have a big impact on?
I mean, Gyrocopter is something that they really like to pick him on. I know they give him that Lone Druid solo matchup as much as they can as well. Those are the kind of heroes that you want to see TC on, the ones that you can really thrive with the farm. And then from there on, what I'd actually really like to see is either Liquid try to pick up that Visage as early as possible. I think it's a hero that both teams utilize quite well.
That's very true.
DDC's been playing that. It's DDC playing it, right?
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I wouldn't be. He's the 4 position.
Yeah,
he's been
playing it really well. And then from there on, I mean, I don't know if it's ban worthy for either team, but I'm willing to see like who's going to pick it up first.
That hero is 16-3 in his past 19 games between the International 3 East qualifiers as well as the G1 League LAN Finals. So I think it's safe to say the hero is worth some respect. And it's also a hero, like you said, I think not only is it a good hero, it's a hero that both teams use really well. So because of that, I wouldn't be shocked if we see him, maybe not a first pick, but certainly in those first 3 picks or so. If he doesn't go off the board or get banned, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
So Blitz, I'm gonna put you on the spot now.
Okay.
Predictions.
I know
it's
on
a
that
best of one.
I know on that little paper thing, I wrote Team Liquid and Alliance. Alliance would go first. Team Liquid would go second in this competition.
Well, you're looking good for Alliance.
Yes, but you know what? Screw it. I'll go against the grain. Team Liquid, they're going to jam today. They're going to pick it up. I think they have a lot of pride on the line. And LGD, maybe they get a little too comfortable. Has all the makings of an upset.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, Bulba. You can't hate me.
IX Mike said, he actually called me out in the pregame chat. He said, LD, where were you when I needed you last night at 4 a.m. our time? I think I was trying to keep the drunkards out of the casting studio, but IX Mike, I'm with you today, buddy. I think you guys are going to put something together, take a game off LGD, and this group is going to get a lot more interesting. LGD, they've looked unbeatable so far, but it's a best-of-1 group stage format. It's a new day. It's a new morning for Liquid. I'm rooting for them. My money's with them. Let's see what's going to happen now. The draft is underway. We're going to hop into it. Team Liquid versus LGD. LGD sitting pretty, 2-0. Liquid 0-2. A big match for them. They're going to start with a first ban Lifestealer. LGD, a little respect towards TC. They'll remove the Gyrocopter, so there's a Bat in the pool. There's a Wisp in the pool. Bat now gets the ban. There's a Magnus as well. And, of course, there's the Visage.
Yeah, there's also a Nyx. I don't know if you said
True.
him.
The Shao 8 Nyx. He was dominant yesterday with that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's quite a bit heroes left. We'll see. I mean, we see the Respect Gyrocopter ban. That's a team that the Western scene really likes to utilize. Team Liquid going to ban that Lifestealer. I know Gods, for a long time, said that was the best hero in Dota. He said if a Chinese team gets it, it's game. It's almost like a... Yeah, that's such a huge advantage. So for a hero like that, for Liquid to ban out, really smart. Don't even contest it.
5 seconds.
The hero is just, it's very, if you give away Lifestealer, you have to build an entire lineup around dealing with him. We see when the Russian teams give him away, they pick Bane, they pick Magnus, maybe even a Batrider if they could get their hands on it. And why do that? Well, you'll ban it out now. Liquid are actually going to be the ones to ban the Wisp, and LGD say, great, give us the Lone Druid, another hero that the Chinese teams have great success with. This also sets them up to run that aggressive tri-lane, and Liquid, I think, they see this Lone Druid pick. They should expect LGD, one, to get something like the Visage, run an aggressive tri-lane, run Shao 8 on, say, a Kunkka, a Nyx mid, and that's where if you're Liquid, I think you could steal some of their thunder. Take the Visage for yourself.
Yeah, I think in the next two, they definitely should, because we've seen LGD are liable to pick a hero like that. On top of that, what I'd like to really see out of LGD is another Kunkka pick. That hero is so fun to watch. What it does for LGD is it forces the fight. Early game, nobody has a BKB or anything to protect early enough, and so that X is just going to force the fight immediately.
Well, we'll see what they go for now. Liquid is going to take their time with this next pick, and interesting. We could even see something. I mean, the one concern as well is if you give away Nyx, then that kind of limits what Korok can do, because Korok loves to play Puck, Storm, Queen of Pain. These are sort of the 3 main heroes we see him on. You give away the Nyx to LGD, now it gets a lot harder to handle them. They'll start off with what will probably be a Bulba Darkseer. Where do you think they go from here? I still think Visage is the hero you want.
Yeah, I still think so too. I mean, there are some support options as well. There's the Rubik, the Shadow Demon. I know I think it was Fluff that expressed to me once that Shadow Demon wasn't just a support hero that you could take in any sort of situation. So I think that's an option for them as well, but maybe not one we'll see off the bat for Team Liquid. I would really like to see that Visage pick up, though, immediately.
Yeah, they pick it up now. I mean, you don't have to go aggressive with it, but it's an option for you. So it just kind of shores up your laning options. And, I mean, it's something AUI talked about a lot about yesterday is you get the Visage, there's the threat of the aggressive try, and they'll go Chen, though. That leaves the Visage open. They do go with a Fluff and Stuff signature hero. Not as aggressive of one, though. Generally, when they want to be aggressive, they go Enchantress. So they'll go Chen here. They'll also deny some of the pushing power of LGD. If they wanted to go Chen, they could. They don't run it a whole lot. Instead, LGD says, we're going to stick with what's been working for us. The Xiao 8 Kunkka, they'll get the Shadow Demon set up as well if they want it. They could aggressive tri-lane the Kunkka. They could run a dual lane mid, or they could just run a solo mid Kunkka and a tri-lane with some other 3 heroes.
Yeah, hasn't Yao actually played it in the past as well for LGD? So there's a lot of ways that they can run this hero.
I can't remember. Maybe he has. Xiao 8's been the standout, though. When he plays the Kunkka, he's just been crushing.
Yeah, but linear ways that can run this hero, and I mean, they just keep going back and back and back to it. Is this something we're going to see, LD, where you have to start banning it in the first phase against a team like LGD?
I don't know. If it keeps on working, eventually, yeah, you'll just have to ban it. Liquid, they've got that 3rd pick now. They haven't gotten a carry. Well, let's see what they're going to go for here. Visage is in the pool. They've gone Chen, and now Visage feels like maybe doesn't fit quite as well, because they'll go Luna instead. So they get a strong, almost LGD-esque lineup here. They have the Chen. Maybe we'll see that dual roam early. I think if you're LGD, this is where you may want to ban a hero like Rubik to kind of limit the effectiveness of the dual roam. Sure, there's still the strong 5-man with Darkseer, Chen, and Luna, but Kunkka's actually quite adept at stopping pushes with Torrent as well as Boat. It's actually pretty dangerous and difficult to really 5-man against him.
Yes, and on top of that, the Coco's run does quite well against that Luna ultimate. You just need to survive long enough to win the fight, and then from there, you know, it doesn't really matter how much HP you have.
Immediate Rubik ban. LGD, they know what Liquid are looking to do. It really does smell like LGD, at least to me.
Yeah, definitely. And Liquid actually not being left with a lot of top support options. I mean, there's Shadow Demon, there's Rubik, there's Wisp, and, you know, 2 of those have been taken or banned.
There's still Visage. Does Visage fit, though? When you already have Chen, then you have a support who is sure, he's got the familiars, but you got to get level 6 to use those, and not always reliable. And then Chen, not reliable. Disables, Darkseer, no actual stuns, just vacuum and wall. If Liquid did want to go Visage, they'd have no stuns left. So I feel like they almost have to go for something like a Twin-Headed Dragon, Alina, a Leshrac here instead, which means, well, they don't get the Visage.
Yeah, this if they pick up a hero like Visage here, it'll look like kind of what Mineski did, where they didn't pick any reliable stuns out.
Yeah.
And I think that's a terrible idea, especially with the lineup they have right now. If you take a hero like Visage, sure, it's a strong hero, and we almost over-talked it, and it didn't even end up getting picked, but I think with a Chen pickup, it's not something that you can actually take. Especially since, I mean, like you said, you'll have no reliable stuns. In a game like Dota, especially against a lineup with a Kunkka and a Lone Druid where you have to lock one of them down, it's absolutely necessary.
Let's see where LGD goes from here. Again, the name of the game for them is versatility. LGD is showing they've done their homework. They're going to ban out the Clockwork. Sure, there's already a Darkseer, but it's something in theory that Korok could take mid, and then they could go for the Bulba Clockwork. They could also run the dual lanes that we've seen out of Rattlesnake, Rising Stars. I haven't personally seen Liquid use that style before. I know Dignitas experimented with it at least once, but LGD, they won't take any chances. They've seen what Bulba's Clockwork can do. They'll remove it now.
Yes, and actually the Visage is now banned, something LGD could have taken with the lineup that they
It would have fit really well for LGD. So Liquid, they don't want it, they're forced to ban it.
Yeah, and actually Liquid looking to ban out another support, I think, or, I mean, Lone Druid can long lane, or even short lane, they can offensive tri-lane. I'd imagine they ban a support or a mid at this point, and Kunkka could even mid. They've been liable to do that as well. You know,
I'm looking at LGD right now. I really think they want to aggressive tri-lane. Whenever they get Sylar's Lone Druid, it's just, he's comfortable in the 1v1 matchup. He plays Lone Druid a lot. I mean, as a safe lane farmer, I'd say probably more than any other Lone Druid Chinese player. So they put him safe lane. They run Shadow Demon Kunkka or Shadow Demon +2 in the aggressive tri-lane. I mean, the options are a bit limited, but there's still a Lina. You know, maybe you just put the Kunkka, Shadow Demon, Lina together. Looks like a Nixel mid. So yeah, it does look like probably the Yao Kunkka in a tri-lane. And, I mean, then you're up against a Luna, not really a strong hero against that level of stun and lockdown. I'm a bit worried for Liquid because we saw what the Alliance did. When they were up against an aggressive tri-lane, they picked a Windrunner, a support that's very hard to kill, and then they picked a carry that's hard to kill and a Phantom Assassin who's Blink, who can basically farm from a safe range. Luna can't do that. So I'm a lot more worried for Liquid because I was thinking, oh, maybe they'll try and go Alliance style, just run the Chen aggressive, try and punish the Lone Druid safe lane. But if they do that, Luna's going to have a lot of trouble, unlike a Phantom Assassin.
Yes, definitely. If Liquid gets offensive tri-laned, and they stick the Darkseer down at bottom, they absolutely need to win that tri lane, because if Lone Druid just gets some traction and he picks up farm, then things are going to go disastrously for Team Liquid.
And you mentioned for LGD, the story for them has been spammable disables. And look how many they've got. Disruption, pretty spammable when you level it up. Torrent, Boat, very low cooldown, barely over a minute. And then the Nyx Assassin. Liquid, they go Bane. This is a great way to deal with Lone Druid.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually a really popular hero in the West to pick as a support. I mean, if you get any sort of Fiend's Grip off, it's fantastic. Sleep will disable a hero. You can actually just use it on the bear as well and force somebody to break something to get the bear back into the fight. The Brain Sap makes it so it's a little tanky and difficult to kill as well, and solo just kill on. And I actually really like that pickup for Team Liquid. They needed a secondary support, and this is a pretty good one. And it also sets up for the Chen.
Yeah.
If you get a Centaur creep or any sort of stomp, then you just sleep and then you lead in.
And you have Lucent Beam, which is a decent sort of either follow-up setup, or you can just throw it in for the damage. So they have some good killing potential. My only concern is, I look at this Liquid lineup, I'm sure they would love to dual roam, but they really can't because of the Luna. If they're up against an aggressive tri-lane, Luna can't deal with that by herself. So they'll be strong in the tri-lane, they'll have the setup stun there, but their ability to move around the map, try and gank the Nyx early, try and gank the Lone Druid, it feels like it's probably going to be limited.
Yeah, but I do like the Bane pickup. It's actually a really good defensive support as well. If you decide to offensive tri-lane that Luna, then the sleep does wonders. I mean, you can even sleep the Luna, have the Chen rotate in time, or just sleep somebody coming in, and it's kind of difficult to kill a Bane as well, because both of your spells have decent range.
And I believe you can sleep someone and then send them back and then sleep them, so they'll have the second invulnerability, and then they still go back.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of synergy for Team Liquid here. One thing I would like to see is, I mean, who's Korok going to play? There's a Queen of Pain, there's a Puck. Those are both heroes that he really likes to play and he does quite well on. Maybe we see a
up against the Nyx though.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, I think
that's why I
LGD
like
knows.
this pick so much.
Yeah, exactly. They know that Korok likes to play those mobile intelligence heroes that really rely on mana and intelligence, and then from there on, Nyx does so well against both those.
I mean, it still could be a Darkseer mid and then something else for Bulba. There is a Nature's Prophet, but can you really afford to weaken your lanes that much when you're up against such an aggressive early to mid game lineup in LGD?
No, I don't think you can, LD.
So what can Bulba go for here? If he, I guess it's probably Bulba Darkseer, and we're still looking at something like the Korok Puck, the TA. They'll go TA. Gives you the minus armor versus the Lone Druid Bear, so they now have Enfeeble, as well as things like Meld and just the refraction damage to try and bring it down. They actually have a lot of damage to do with the Bear, plus the TC Luna Aura. I feel they can kill the Bear much easier than a lot of other lineups.
Yeah, it's not the Bear that I'm worried about, though.
Yeah.
It's that Boat.
It's the Boat. It's the stuns. It's a Yao Kunkka. Well, he hasn't impressed me quite as much with this Kunkka. It hasn't been as memorable, shall we?
It's pretty great, though.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah, the one time I saw it, he was like 7-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I mean, TA is a hero that relies on burst. Let's get one hero out of the way, go for the next. And the Boat actually does a really good job of just kind of taking that out of the equation, where you can keep your supports alive a little bit longer, and then TA has to spend that extra second going for that hero.
Yeah, and at the same time, you want to burst someone down, you have to deal with Carapace.
10 seconds.
You have to deal with Disruption, and you have to deal with Lone Druid's natural durability. It even says durable on Kunkka, man. It's there on the cards. Must be true. You can't see it because of the overlay. But guys, it's time to jump into our second of our 9 group stage matches for this evening. That's right. There's a total of 15 when you have 6 teams all in one round-robin group, and we're going to chew our way through the final remaining matches here today. We're going to start off with Team Liquid. Actually, I'll let you introduce them. I will introduce LGD because I know these boys a bit better than you. We're gonna have Xiao8 playing that Nyx Assassin. Is going to be going mid, rushing the bottle. We'll have Yao on the Kunkka in the aggressive tri-lane. And DDC on the support Shadow Demon. Smoke already picked up. Sentries as well. Very important in the tri-lane. Sylar going to be handling the Lone Druid. And then last, but certainly not least, it's DD. They won't get the Visage this time, but they have an equally annoying hero for the tri-lanes in some way, having the Keeper of the Light.
Definitely, and that's actually a hero that I haven't seen too much in the qualifiers or this tournament so far. But LGD opting to pick it up. It's really good, too, for the mana leak for the Surge target.
Yeah.
Whoever gets Surged, I mean, that just... It's like the reverse Bloodseeker Force Staff. But anyways, we've got TC playing that Luna. Korok going to be playing that Templar Assassin. Liquid Fluff, Captain going to be playing Chen. Bulba going to be picking up that Darkseer. And IX Mike 88, the man with the stash, the creator of IXDL, best player in the world, going to be playing that Bane.
Yeah, well, guys, we'll have a bit of a prolonged pause here. We're going to wait and see what's going on. LGD looks like they may have some technical issues, some settings to sort out. Remember, these teams are switching in and out of the booths pretty much after every game, so a little bit more setup time. Unfortunately, I don't think they have their setup quite as efficient as what Valve did for the International, but things have been, I mean, so far today pretty smooth, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that they remain smooth now.
Yeah, it's been going quite well. I'm actually staring at that golden Roshan courier.
Yeah.
I play this game in my head. Whoever's the better courier is going to win.
Okay, so Liquid, they have a golden Roshan. It actually is more. It stands out more than the heroes. I think it's just been summoned and it's like bouncing out from IX Mike towards the ground. So, how do you feel about these drafts? I look at LGD and they got pretty much exactly what they've been running, and it's been working for them. So I guess my bigger question is, does what Liquid's managed to put together deal with that well?
I think it does okay. The thing is, I mean, I'd like to see the lineups in play, but I assume Liquid. I mean, Fluff is a guy who's meticulous. He's a guy who watches game after game. He studies the tape, and he knows that the Kunkka pick. He had to have seen it coming if he wasn't going to ban it in the first two.
Yeah.
I mean, LGD has no fear. They're going to run it at you over and over again, regardless of what you pick up. So I'd imagine Fluff, he had to have put together some sort of game plan to come together against the Kunkka. And I think this too, giving up the Kunkka in the long run is a good thing for Liquid. I mean, they're going to see LGD very likely at the International.
Yeah.
By the way they're playing, I mean, there's a good chance. And I mean,
Well,
this is a good chance.
If it's like
yeah.
last year, you'll play everyone in the group stage.
Yeah, and this is a good opportunity for Liquid to actually see, okay, well, will this work against the Kunkka? I think this is, like Fluff said, it's expedition. Let's see how well we do against the Chinese teams. And I think if you're just going in to learn as much as possible, this is a great lineup to do it against.
Looks like we'll have to halt the analysis there. Get back inside the game, guys. It's time for Team Liquid versus LGD. The best of one. It begins right now. On the side of Team Liquid, Blitz, go ahead, introduce our American and our lone Canadian boys.
I just did that.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well,
Do you even pay attention to me?
I'm trying to make sure that the camera shots change before I adjust myself too
I
much.
feel so lonely now.
I was listening, buddy. I'm an old man, all right? There's a reason why I'm named after Larry David. It's because I have the Alzheimer's already at age 27, or soon age 27. But yeah, Liquid going to be looking to defend their own jungle. And against LGD is a very scary level 1. For Liquid, not so much.
Yeah, and actually, Lone Druid going to go down there, and they're actually going to scout with the bear. And Liquid actually just running around in their jungle, not doing a whole lot. I think a little tentative to engage. TC is going to be up there with Ring of Protection. A lot of regen backed by that. Judging by the way this looks, it looks like they're going to offensive tri-lane. I mean, DD actually has no regen LD. He's got 3 clarities, and I actually really like this because I assume he knows that he's not going to get initiated upon.
Yeah, DD, I mean, if he gets caught out, he's making a mistake because he's Keeper of the Light. You can sit very, very far back and not be in too much trouble. So the lanes are going to develop pretty much as we expected. Bulba's going to be, denied a double damage rune. That's a little unfortunate. Sylar able to grab that rune in time. So Bulba is going to be the offlane Darkseer up against Lone Druid. Lone Druid, one of the best heroes at dealing with this.
Yeah, and it's absolutely imperative right now for Liquid not to lose this tri-lane. That bottom lane is going to be a bit difficult for Bulba. I mean, it's kind of a wash because you can creep skip, but at the same time, Bear does really good job at farming under his tower, and Bear farm is a little bit better.
And so Fluff's going to he's going to go aggressive jungle, which I like because we saw what you can do with that. The line showed that, but it's different when you have a Luna in this tri-lane versus a PA. Luna doesn't have an escape mechanism, and she's a bit squishier even.
Yeah, and I don't know if Bane alone can actually defend against this. If she gets blasted a lot, or even a little bit, or even if IX Mike gets caught out, then that's an instant death just because of the Torrent. That spells Doom, LD.
Yeah, and Fluff, he's got a Hellbear Smasher, so they may look for the tower dive. This is actually the same creep that we saw earlier on Ake when he managed to get first blood. So if anything could do it, well, maybe Liquid, they're going to look for a bit of that alliance magic. They'll go in now with the Hellbear Smasher. Fluff's going to find the more direct access angle, but Sylar pretty well positioned here behind the tower. Are they going to surge it? They're going to Ion Shell it too, but it's being body blocked by the Bear. Sylar Dota, still, he's getting surrounded. He's getting cornered. The Bear is keeping the Hellbear Smasher away, but Bulba's found him behind the tower. The Bear can't even get in. Fluff's got to create space for it. Now they've cornered him. No, they haven't. He jukes away.
Sylar.
I feel like I'm watching Whack-A-Mole. Already DDC's bought a teleport scroll. He's down in this bottom lane, and this could be bad. Bulba even deploys a surge. Fluff in trouble too. DDC's blocking him in. What is this game so far? It looks like the Centaur is going to go down, or the Ursa rather. Now with Disruption, a Soul Catcher. Fluff is going to go down first. Sylar with some sensational hero movement and Bear blocking, and the timely teleport from Shadow Demon to turn it around.
Did you see that?
Ridiculous.
Oh my god. I was like speechless during that entire time. He matches the movement of the Hellbear and then just goes back and forth. He cuts the tree up and then he ganks around and then he actually blocks off Fluff. Wow, absolutely sensational.
He bought
bear
so
play.
much time that DDC got to walk to the side shop and buy a TP and come down there because he didn't have a TP at that
Yeah,
point.
that looked perfect. The setup, and then he sees, oh, the surge. I'll just block this with my bear the entire time. No
That was like the
problem.
most calm reaction to that gank. How easy is it to panic, even just slightly miss micro? Then the Hellbear gets in, it claps you, and you're eating Ion Shell damage. You die in like 4 seconds.
What are you supposed to do against that? I mean, the surge came out, and what is Fluff supposed to do? I mean, they played that gank as well as they were supposed to. They pincered him, and then from there, I mean, Sylar Dota.
And I'm pretty worried because you look at this tri-lane, I feel like we're likely to see some of these Liquid heroes dying. TC on the Luna, Bane being played by Ix Mike, so far so good, but it only takes one disruption, Torrent, Illuminate, and you just die.
Yeah, and actually, Fluff gonna come right down here again, but he's level 1 LD at 3 minutes with a hero like Chen. That's not something you want to see.
Yeah, you should at least be level 2. You should probably be close to level 3, depending on your spawns and just how efficiently you can farm the camps. But, well, we'll see what he can do for the time being. Now, Sylar, off to a good start, 13-2. It's not even like that gank really slowed his farm down. Bulba only a few CS ahead of him.
Yeah, and actually, Bulba's doing quite well in the short lane, considering that little bit of a miscue. He's got a Soul Ring out as well, not seeing the traditional bottle build. And now Korok actually going to rotate down, and they need this. They absolutely need to kill
This is 3
Sylar
heroes.
here.
He's hasted. They gotta find the kill. I think this time they might do it. Almost trapping Bulba in between Hero and Bear. Gets rooted under the tower, but Bulba should be okay. The tower's not focusing. A hasted Korok on the hunt. Where's the TP reaction? Sylar's still alive.
Oh
he
my-
pulls
he's
the Bear
gonna live
back
again.
in. Sylar Dota. Holy crap. Now DDC caught under the tower.
Oh,
But
and he
does
gets
disrupt-
rooted.
Oh, the roots there on Korok. This is going to end the aggression. They've devoted 3 heroes, a haste rune, and their solo mid time. Bulba's going to go down to poison. One more hit. Bulba's dead. What is going on in this game? Another root. Sylar might find another kill. Korok, does he have a meld? He does meld under the creeps. Is there sentry? No sentry yet. Oh, this is so bad for Liquid. They devoted so much to killing him. They failed twice. They are so far behind now.
LD, what am I watching?
This is unbelievable. I mean, we have seen some great Lone Druid players on this tournament, but this just blows them all away.
Yeah, as a former root gamer, you know, that guy's the new root gamer. That was the craziest thing I've seen. The most timely roots I've seen in quite some time. Korok continues to actually run after Sylar, and then he roots him immediately, while Korok still has the haste, and he saves him.
I also want to point out, Sylar narrowly missed a second body block there. He almost trapped Bulba in between the, I think I'm slightly off, but in between his hero and his bear. That probably would have gotten Bulba killed too if he got entangled sooner. Sylar just playing this matchup beautifully, and Liquid, their early rotations aren't working right now. Blitz, they now trail by 1,000 gold, 1,000 experience, but it feels like a lot more to me. I think the one thing that's going really well for them is they've taken pressure off of TC. Sure, all these ganks are failing, but TC isn't dying.
Yeah, for sure, but at the same time, Yao getting a lot out of that.
That's the one thing.
And, I mean, they left Sylar out there just to be like, okay, well, maybe you get a tri-lane and stuff like that, but showing so much confidence, not rotating the entire team down. You know, Yao doing quite well in the short or in the long lane with Kunkka. And I mean, oh god, sorry, I'm like flabbergasted right now.
To quote you, what do you do against that? Like, you can't plan for that. You can't plan for the roots, and then more importantly, you just can't plan for that level of Bear Micro. Worst part is, Sylar's the lead farmer. He's 24-7. Despite that, he's tied now with Xiao 8 mid. Speaking of Xiao 8, this is a game where he can just feast on some of these backline heroes. Well, Monoburn and Korok now. He's got Vendetta and also a TP scroll. Xiao 8, let's see how effective the director is going to be with his first few movements.
Yeah, and the worst thing out of that too was that Korok, he did manage to live, but he spent like a minute or longer trying to kill Sylar, and Xiao 8 just picks up the farm. You know, he's got quite a bit. He's got 25 CS, something we don't see that often on a hero like Nyx. That's where he's a little weak against range heroes.
Oh, he's actually going to go in, looking to kill Korok because Korok is waiting for his bottle to come back. He does juke away from Xiao 8. Now he runs north. Xiao 8 had a moment there where if he correctly predicted the movement of Korok, might have been able to find a kill. He still forces a TP for the cost of Vendetta. Not too shabby. That could have been really bad if he died. Oh, what do you know? Xiao 8 just goes bottom rune, gets a haste.
Yeah, and I'm actually, it's not too necessary now for Xiao 8 to move around the map, as he's had some bit of free farm. And I mean, Korok's quite a bit behind now. He should be leading in the CS, but after that failed gank at bottom, it kind of set him behind quite a bit.
Sylar's already got a Helm of Iron Will, so we're going to see a very fast armlet.
Yeah, and they were actually relying on Liquid. They were actually relying on winning that bottom lane. I think they saw what Alliance did and said, this is the right way to play against a bear. We'll cut his legs out early, and then from there on, we won't let him into the factor into the game. But I mean, Sylar, I don't get excited very often, as you know, but
yeah, you were impressing upon me how unexciting most pro Dota games are.
Yeah, and then no. I just
Yeah.
mean I personally don't get excited.
Right.
But that was insane.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Well, Liquid, they'll now have to find their way back. There is a net on DDC. He's caught out. Eats the Lucent Beam as well. Will go down, but the Torrents here and losing TC for that is not a great trade. There's your defensive sleep. I don't think it'll be enough. In fact, he will go down. DD able to pick up the kill. Could be Fluff in trouble. You mentioned the spammable stuns. Here they come. Hasted Shao8 finds another kill. And this is where things get very tough for Liquid. LGD don't have an RP. They don't have any long cooldown spells. Even like something like a lasso, they can just keep on taking fights whenever they want, especially if Shao8's getting runes. And speaking of Shao8, he's going back in now.
Yeah, and Fluff's actually level 4
Oh
now.
no, TP. He has to cancel his TP. Wise decision, but that's
You're
just
gonna
going to
give
even
up the tower
further
now.
slow him down.
That's what it means. You're actually going to give up the tower. Nobody can rotate up there. I mean, TC's running down, but LGD rotating a lot at top just to try to get anything going.
And what is a TA going to do at this point? You look at Korok, he's actually behind on farm. This is a hero that needs more than other solos to really come and join the fights, and he's not getting the runes. That's the other reason he's been struggling. There is a rune bottom. Looks like he'll get one. It's a regen, not going to help him find kills.
Yeah, that haste rune at the beginning tricked him.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you can use this to get kills, or Sylar's just going to be better
Sylar
than
might
you.
deny it. It's going to be close. Korok just barely grabs it.
Yeah, and actually, where TA really shines is that you can get really early items because your CS is going to be so good, and you deny the other mid a lot of farm with the refract, as you know, it doesn't break a charge to deny. But because he went down to gank, I mean, he's just gone further and further behind.
He's behind, and I'm even concerned about the levels for some of these supports. IX Mike just hits level 4 now, so he's got a single point in Enfeeble. You're up against the Lone Druid. Oh, they're going to wrap around top. We'll talk about that later. DD might get caught out, but there's only a Tornado to initiate here. They'll follow up with a Lucent Beam, perhaps. Eclipse actually comes out. Clips DD, picks him off. Can they kill Yao? That's the big question. I imagine there's a TP on Shao8. Maybe not. Torrent only going to hit the bear. Here comes the reaction. They do force it out. Shao8 coming in. Will he get in range for an Impale? Carapace is there. Tried to get somebody stunned. Won't succeed. Bulba comes back in too, so they find a kill on the Keeper of the Light. They do force the TP on the Nyx. This gives Korok a bit of space, but Sylar's free farming as well, so a slight victory there for Liquid, but not too big.
Yeah, and Sylar actually, look at his farm LD. He's almost got...
He's got his armlet.
Is that the armlet? Wow.
That's a 9-minute armlet. I would love to see some stats on average armlet times, because this has to be near the top.
Yeah, and not on top of that, what makes it even more impressive, and you see, okay, he has free farm, he could do that, but then the amount of pressure he's seen this game, and still able to pull that off, that's phenomenal.
He's our lead farmer, he's our lead CSer, he's our hero so far for LGD, and for Liquid, what can they do against the bear? They do have some solutions. They have TA who can do a lot of physical damage to it, same for the Luna, and they have Enfeeble, but they need levels in IX Mike. Level 1 Feeble isn't going to cut it when you're up against this bear. You really need at least 2 or 3 points to truly shut it down. I mean, look at it now. Already 120 damage. Sure, you take 30 away. That doesn't really slow the bear down that much.
Definitely not, and that bear is going to be scary, LD. At the rate that Sylar is farming, and, you know, it's the bear's going to be as useful as quick as you get the armlet. And now that he's got the armlet, he's going to be able to pressure.
Trap from Korok. He's actually manning up here against Shao8. He's going to try to go in. Shao8 does have Vendetta, so not someone you want to dive, and DDC's there. Well, Fluff, a lot of movement from him. He's only level 5 at 10 minutes in. Liquid tend to use their Chen a little more actively, their Enchantress as well. They get their junglers involved, but the one downside or risk to that style, as opposed to the more passive farming of, say, a player like Extinct, is if you're not very successful early, you really fall behind, and I mean, even Bulba's not that farm. We look at him now, Boots and a Soul Ring, nowhere near a Mechanism. Neither of these heroes is going to build one fast, and that's one of the big benefits of having heroes like Darkseer and Chen on your team, is usually one of them can.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, Liquid, the advantage they have in their lineup is that they should be able to force fights with all the little spells they have. I mean, they can force fights with Vacuum and Eclipse.
Yeah, and you get a mech that shores
exactly.
things
But
up. We're going to go
without
top
mech,
right
TC,
now
top.
on the TC. He's in trouble. Torrent's going to fly through the boat as well.
And Mike's
going
gonna go low too.
going to go down, and then Mike possibly as well. Pulled back in, brought down low, sending back, not in time, and now Fluff might be the next casualty of war. Here comes Shao8. Well, he's pretty low. There's actually a blinding light. Fluff, well, he's manning up as best he can. He's trying to bring them all down by himself. Can't find any kills. Does live, but they may go back in.
Oh, they're going to go back in?
Oh, no. Fluff, what could he really do? He had a smoke. He didn't have a TP. The Illuminate's there. Fluff jukes into the trees, only delaying the inevitable. He will go down for that cleave from Yao. Well played. And the Chen army may drop here, too. This is an absolute massacre. And oh, by the way, there's a Lone Druid with an armlet. He just gets a tier 1. He might not stop now. Here comes the engagement top. Bulba, Vacuum is there. Not going to do a whole lot. That's a 2-hero Impale. Keeping them safe, backing them off. The Eclipse comes in, but the bear is the hero again. Going to tank most of the damage there. Bulba gets rooted. They man back up. Darkseer in trouble as well. Look for the Warcraft 3 surround. Look for the Torrent. It's not going to hit, actually, but Purge on Korok. Rooted up. Brought down. That's 2 dead, and that's Liquid trying to force the issue and paying. They even blew an Eclipse for that. Sylar comes in once again, and just LGD, these spammable stuns, every single one's connecting.
Yeah, and the other issue there is that, yeah, you get the Eclipse off, but the big deal that really hurt them was that they had no way to stop LGD from just flat out running. Without the Bane there, they were actually unable to do anything for there. The Eclipse goes off, but what's slowing LGD down from just running away?
Yeah, what stop? I mean, there's no stuns. There's really not. Bane doesn't have Fiend Skirt. Well, now he does. IX Mike does, but wasn't able to use it in that fight. They'd have Vacuum. It's only a level 2 Vacuum. Bulba constantly diving that tower. Wasn't getting as much golden experience out of the lane as he could have been, so he doesn't have a mech. He doesn't have his level 4 Vacuum, and he doesn't have Wall. And the other thing is, how much does Wall really do for you this game? You're up against Kunkka's Cleave, which is great at killing illusions, anything basically, any sort of mass units, and you're also up against a Bear. You can't make an illusion of that. So it feels like a game where Darkseer just needed to get a really fast mech and have an impact that way. The skill set not going to be as useful by itself.
You also need levels here. Something I touched briefly on is the lack of disables means that Bulba's going to need to be there for fights, but if Bulba doesn't do break even or better against the Lone Druid, then what ends up happening is once Bulba rotates top, then he's just giving Lone Druid a lot of room to farm.
This is just absolutely meticulous and surgical from LGD. Is this going to be their third game where they not only win, but they just completely blow out their opponents? It feels like it might be. It's now 9-2. It's a 70... Oh, God, I really shouldn't have shown that. A 7,500 gold lead, a 6,000 experience lead. That's just outrageous for this stage of the game. They're going to take a tier 2 mid, and they might even defend top as well. LGD China is having their cake, and they're eating it too. And Liquid, they're just not getting anything. Really, what can they turn to at this point? Is there any sort of solution? They lose the tier 2 mid.
For smarter fights, try to get something going on Sylar. Try to get him, get a gank going, get towers, but I mean... and Fluff's actually going to get picked off as well now.
It's hard now. They've lost the tier 1 top. The jungle is now restricted. You can't really go aggressive jungle. Xiaohui's actually dying pretty quickly to these creeps. He will back off, and, well, the Alpha Wolf will give chase, but Xiaohui will get away, and they might clean these all up, too, in the end. It's hard for a Chen to stay alive at this point. You're up against Nyx. He's one of the best heroes in the game for punishing underleveled supports.
Yeah, and look at the tower lead. With a hero like Chen, Liquid hasn't been able to push any towers down at all. They don't have a mech.
And now a Blink Dagger on Xiaohui, so
yeah,
LGD are looking for more.
Yeah, exactly. And LGD, what I really like to see out of them is just continue to play the style you're doing. They're not giving up any towers, and they don't look to trade. That's what I really like about watching LGD every time I watch them, is that, yeah, they're getting a T2, but they're also saving all their tier 1s.
Yeah, their trade is, we'll trade your lives for your towers. Like, we'll take both, and you'll get nothing in return. It's not a good trade for Liquid, and already a mech on your support Keeper of the Light and an offensive try. Oh, and by the way,
he's got phase boots.
Phase boots. Why the hell not? Sure, he's got 4 towers to his name across the team, but this is also just farming the enemy stacks. It's a 5-1 and 2 Keeper of the Light, and Liquid, where's their mech? 1,000 gold on Bulba. They're smoked up. They got to make something happen because they are slowly but surely slipping up, or kind of falling apart, and this game's slipping away from them. Their third group stage match, if they lose this, they're going to be 0-3 in the group.
Isn't DD the one that took a break?
Yeah, DD retired.
You can't even notice it.
You did for his first game or two.
Oh,
but that was about it. I mean, the guy took like 2 official matches to be pretty much back in top form, and it's been working so well for them. Normally it's DDC who's playing that 4 position, but this game it looks like DD's the one getting the farm. So, well, for the time being, they'll group up bottom, they'll go for a tier 2, and it just feels like it's one step in a very organized fashion for LGD. They take the early advantage, they get some kills, they start mowing down towers with the Lone Druid Bear, they build the mech, they build the next Kree items to take fights, they get the wards up, soon we'll probably see a gem coming out. They don't have one yet, they have the Blink Dagger on the Nyx to initiate, and they're going to defend their tier 1. Like you said, there's just no trades for Liquid. They're going to try and push mid, but Xiaohui's waiting with this Blink Dagger, and he could jump in now if he wants to. He's waiting, I hear an Illuminate being shadowed, it won't connect, but he'll jump in anyway on TC. Where's the send back? Fluff even pops Duster. Actually, I think that might have been IX Mike. Well, they force out a hand of God. DD mans up into the river. Mech, though, keeps him alive, pulls in Sylar. Now the Bear's here. The boat comes through. The send back in time. Liquid are doing everything they can to get out safely, but another 2-hero impale. They might lose it all here. Bulba gonna fall as well. That's 2 down. Korok on the retreat. Can he actually get away? There might be detection. Another blink from Xiaohui. Is there the detection? He mans up on Xiaohui, but the Carapace is gonna bring him down with the stun. He'll fall. Fluff even dies. It's going to be 4 heroes dead. The lone survivor is TC. There's no Eclipse. LGD, they can go Roche now. They can take the base soon if they want. Liquid, this looks more and more like their third loss of the group stages.
Yeah, and LGD plays a really deceptive style. They send Sylar bottom, and what that means is like, well, Liquid's like, okay, if we try to gank him, he'll just run away. So we need to play decisively here. We'll try to take the mid no matter what, and we'll trade this T1 for a T2. And in normal situations, that'd be bad. But for a team like Team Liquid, where they're this far behind, they just have to make a trade like that. But then, you know, the swing around happens. The entire team rotates down, and then Liquid's stuck, and they have to fight from that point on. Once somebody gets X like that, I mean, and then on top of that, Yao hits a 3-man boat. Like, how do you run from that? You have to force a fight there. And the Blink Dagger on the Nyx, like, once you commit like that, Liquid can't run.
This is just systematic. They have a mech up and Bulba sitting on a buckler, and he was one of your solos. This is, again, a support trialing, offensive trialing Keeper of the Light, who is massively ahead.
He's got a Void Stone now, too, LD.
Actually, this Keeper of the Light, he's got 5,000 net worth. He's ahead of the... He's like even with the 3 bottom heroes. And Liquid, a blanket from Xiao Wei, catching out Korok. This could be bad. The Torrent comes in as well. Where's the send back? There was a disruption actually preventing the send back. It looks like Fluff can't get it off. I'll send back TC now instead, but they've already lost one. They might lose TC. One more auto attack. Down he'll go. Sylar gets the finishing kill. IX Mike as well. Team Liquid are going to tap out 17-2. An absolute beatdown 18 minutes in. LGD, they are 3-0 in the group, and they look completely unstoppable.
Oh my. I mean, we talked about it, you know, Xiao Weight's Kunkka, but Yao played that just as flawlessly.
He played better than Xiao Wei did in this game yesterday.
He hit every single torrent, and although the kill score doesn't represent it, I mean, for them, LGD, they're used to like obscene amount of kill deaths. I mean, 17-2, a near flawless performance. They played it so well from start to finish, and I mean, Liquid, they tried doing that thing that Alliance does, where they try to get an early lead and then snowball off of that, but
Alliance, well, first of all, Sylar played way better than Ohio on the Lone Druid. I mean, the micro was better.
Yeah, that was pretty
Positioning
insane.
was better. There was a quick TP reaction, which Orange didn't have. So I felt like part of it was LGD played better, but part of it is also Liquid's not as comfortable with that style. They don't do it all the time. They often just run the aggressive trialing into solos. And, I mean, truth be told, LGD, they were just better in this game.
yeah, they played that. God, I can't even.
Were there any mistakes? I mean, I'm sure there were a few, but we didn't pick them out.
Xiao Wei almost died to creeps once. That was,
Yeah, but
he thought the spike carapace would work on the Chen neutrals.
apparently not.
Yeah, because he almost died at that. But I mean, if you had to be nitpicky, they did die twice.
It wasn't the perfect game they were pitching against IG, but it'll do in a pinch. So now all they have left to play is Orange, I believe, and Alliance, because they've taken care of Liquid. So they win those 2 games. They're 5-0. I cannot wait for LGD versus Alliance. It sucks for Liquid. I'm disappointed as a North American, as a fan of the team and friends of the players, but it does set up an incredible match, a showdown between LGD and Alliance, both of them now 3-0.
Yep. And actually, let's take it over to the analyst panel to catch everything we didn't because we were gushing over Sylar.
Sylar Dota.
Well, I almost don't want to talk about that game. I almost wanted to say, how awesome is LGD versus Alliance going to be?
Well, we'll see it very, very soon. I think 1 or 2 hours
later
from
on,
now. But
I mean, as far as that game, everything went wrong from the start, and then it kept going wrong. It went downhill very quickly.
For me, the big thing was Kunkka, how Blitz kind of touched on it, how easy it is for you to engage whenever you want the X-Torrent combo, how easy for you to disengage or have a very good engagement because of both Coco Rum. What was surprising to me was the TA last pick. It's a great hero we see a lot, but like also Blitz pointed out, they have no lockdown. I felt like Puck was a really good pickup, and I'm not too sure whether the mechanical interaction was a big thing, but Torrent, it dispels every refraction charges instantly, and that's where the TAs...
That's where LGD are really smart with some of their hero pickups. They always go for stuff like the Kunkka. They run a lot of Beastmaster recently. They always make sure they have that lockdown. The mid-game control with their solo mid heroes, or in this case, it was the offensive trialing farmer. Their solo mid, the Nyx Assassin Xiao Wei, I mean, he offers a ton. He was another great hero pickup as well. Got picked up right in the second pick stage as well. I mean, how much has the metagame changed that you get to pick up Nyx Assassin in the last couple of picks? It really was a steal for LGD.
Yeah, and I mean, picks good, plays good, but Sylar, better?
Well,
best?
Sylar stole the show.
Yeah, he really
stole the show. But with that said, we're going to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll be live with our next match of today, which is going to be IG versus DK. It's going to be awesome.
Both teams 0-2.